North Pole is a small Alaskan city near Fairbanks. It's known for its year-round Christmas decorations, including candy cane-strapped streetlights. Santa Claus House is a Christmas store with walls covered in children's letters to Santa and a huge Santa statue outside. Streets have names like Kris Kringle Drive and Mistletoe Lane. Nearby, the Chena Lake Recreation Area has beaches, natural trails, and picnic areas. In 1952, Dar and Guskey Development Company purchased the Davis homestead, subdivided it, and renamed it North Pole, in hopes of attracting a toy manufacturer to the area. The city of North Pole was incorporated on January 15, 1953, from portions of the Davis homestead and the adjacent homestead of James Ford. North Pole, Alaska, where the spirit of Christmas lives year-round, is just a short 20-minute drive from Fairbanks. Driving along Santa Claus Lane and admire the streetlights decorated in candy cane motifs. This small town in Alaska gives you the feel of a small town living with a great community feel with great access to wildlife, scenery, and the bigger things just being 20 minutes away from Fairbanks.
Smells really good.
There are tons of great gifts of Christmas in the shop, and there's a sweet shop as well, which is serving coffee and sweets, a lot of treats. So the most popular job in Alaska is a retail salesperson profession, which employs 8,980 people, 3.3% of the total employment in Alaska. The second most common job is the office clerk, general profession, which employs 6,730 people, 2.27% of the total employment. After the Santa shop, we drove south to Delta Junction, and Donnelly Dome is a summit located west of the Richardson Highway, 18 miles south of Delta Junction, Alaska. The name was established in the 1920s and derived from nearby Donnelly, Alaska, then a telegraph station. Prior to that time, it was called Delta Dome, named after the Delta River. We did a 2.7-mile hike, and the view is breathtakingly beautiful. It's quite windy, but no mosquitoes. After the Donnelly Dome, we drove down south for another 50 minutes to Castner Glacier. There were 19 years ago a trip about the glacier that Xinle and I had. That was a very bad experience because we paid the tour guide $98 per person, and he just took us for a walk on the glacier. So we decided to take our own free, on-foot glacier tour today. And the Castner Glacier lies on the southern flank of the Delta Range, an eastern section of the Alaska Range. The glacier begins on the peak White Princess and continues to the head of the Castner Creek, northwest of Paxton, Alaska. The glacier was named by Edwin Forbes Glenn in 1898 after Joseph Compton Castner. In order to reach the glacier, you actually have to cross the Castner Creek a few times. Clearly, we all got wet in our shoes and feet. Xinle was trying to take his shoes off, but it's a pain afterwards trying to take it on. And we see other people, many other people around the glacier trying to throw rocks into the water. Amazing. The glacier trip was actually completely impromptu. We didn't plan our trips too tight. So these couple days in Fairbanks, we are actually free on the range, searching for things to do without pre-planned researches. And I think the Castner Glacier is a hidden pearl along the Delta Junction and the Alaskan Range. It took Arnold not long to find this trail, but it took us some time to find our path to the Glacier Dome. Along the way, there are other tourists who are doing mountain biking, and the tundra flowers are actually extremely beautiful. So things to learn in life: never plan your life or your trip to the extreme. There are always opportunities to find surprises, pleasant treats along the way. The creek was roaring, and the surrounding mountains were absolutely beautiful. We came across a lot of moose tracks and what is probably wolf tracks. They were large dog tracks that were bigger than our Great Dane's feet, so you decide. When we call it a trail, you actually have to identify your own way to reach to the Glacier Dome. If you get the way right, it's about 1.5 miles to reach the glacier. If you want a chance at the ice cave, you have to take the trail on the north side of the creek. There are trails on both sides, but the caves are supposed to be on the north side of the creek.
Miraculously, this is the first time we got back to trailhead faster than the children. I think they got lost or they got challenged by the trail. There was one part you have to get into the forest or bushes.
Basically, we're trying to go this way, okay?
Yeah.
And then there's like a tiny part where you have to kind of like do some stepping stones in the water, and the trail's like really thick.
This trail is absolutely amazing. It's definitely worth a trip. It's only 2.5 hours from Fairbanks, and you don't have to pay anything to enjoy the beauty of nature. Thousands of years of snow and sediment trapped here. Castner Glacier is rapidly receding as it melts has created many stunning and several exceptional ice caves. Global warming.